At least we know where we need to go is the big thing.
But I was just saying that like he's a dick. The only thing I didn't like about it in Super is that you had a character like Krillin on the side going like, oh, he's only being like that because he's trying to show. I'm like, don't explain it. Like, that was the thing I didn't like about, like, Super almost treats its audience like it's fucking dumb. I'm like, Z didn't do that. Like, it just let the character speak and you interpret it how you want. Super, it was like you'd get a great character moment with Vegeta and I immediately understood what he was trying to do. But you had to have a side character literally verbatim tell you. And I fucking hated that. I don't know why they did that. I wish they didn't do that. I don't need characters telling me what the other characters are thinking or doing. I know what they're thinking. I know what they're doing. Let the show just be a show, you know?
Absolutely.
But with that being said, I really loved all the scenes with Vegeta and Kaba. And all of that was fantastic. I think a lot of the heart of the show is there. Like, he's degrading them in a way, but he's degrading them because it'll inspire, it'll fuel something in them. I kind of take some notes from that book. I know that sounds shitty, but like when I'm like teaching somebody something, like I'll teach them it. But then if they like mess it up, I'll kind of tease them a little bit about it.
Sure.
And the reason I do that is it is kind of being a dick, but
God damn it.
No fucking way.
sorry.
In a way, I do that because if somebody were like that to me, they're like, you fucked this up. I can't believe you've like my supervisor will sometimes do that to me. But in a way, it like kind of fuels me to be like, all right, I'm going to make sure that doesn't fucking happen again.
Totally.
You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm like, and in a way, like, that's why I don't get mad when my supervisor says something like that to me, because I'm like, I feel like he is doing that on purpose to basically be like, I'm going to say this so that it inspires you to basically not fuck up again.
We've had like a similar-ish conversation to what I'm about to say, but like, you know, part of it's knowing your audience too, because like not everyone reacts the same. Like you or I, where it's like, hey bro, you fucked this up. And I was like, fuck, all right, I got to do, like, I feel the exact same way. But like, dude, I know there's people that just like crumble at the seams at
when you do that.
Yeah, when you confront them on like, oh, hey, buddy, you fucked up. It's like, and then they just like start wallowing in self-pity. Like, I know a couple people like that. Yeah, hands up, motherfucker.
I don't know. I hate the self-pity talk.
I do too.
I hate that fucking talk. I fucking hate it. Where it's like, to me, I'll sit there and hear it, but low key in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like, oh yeah, that sucks. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it, dude? Like, if you have self-pity and you're like, yeah, this has been like, I can't believe I messed this up and I did so bad, and you wallow in your self-pity, that comes from a place of selfishness. And if you, this is gonna be controversial, I know, I don't give a fuck, dude, but like that place of selfishness, the only reason you feel like you have, I'll let you cook on this real quick. Hold on. Oh no. Nice. Nice,
okay.
Dude. But the only reason a person feels that way is because all they're thinking about is themselves.
Sure.
Right? Oh, feel bad for me, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. When I am so of the opposite mind where I'm like, listen, motherfucker, everybody's got problems. Everybody's got hard things going on with them in life, you know?
Absolutely.
I am not going to sit there and burden you and make you feel bad for me, you know, when I know you've got your own problems in life and you're going through your own shit, you know? And I know there's people out there that want, like, that are what you say, where they just crumble and it's like, feel bad for me and you got to be nicer, la-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm just so of the opposite mind where I'm like, no, I'm not going to be nicer to you. Unfortunately, the world does not fucking work like that. I wish it did. And I'm not saying you can't be nice to people. I'm just saying when it comes to failure and successes, unfortunately, I feel like the best way to learn is the hard way. It's like I just said, like everyone's got their own problems. Who am I to burden you with mine and then suddenly make that become your priority is what's wrong with me or where I fucked up or what's going bad in my life? You get what I'm saying? Am I being too harsh?
No, not at all. Because I'm of the exact same mind. Like, and don't get it twisted. Like, I've had my own moments of, and like you've been around for some, where like I'm just going through it. It's normal, like it's definitely normal for people to have like a day or a run of things where everything just feels like it's going to. Well, that's kind of a different thing that we're actually
kind of a different
talking
thing. Yeah,
about.
I was gonna say like it's one thing to have bad days. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's just some people where it's like you either
the minute you criticize them, they fall apart.
Right. You either go through the hardships and take
the lumps,
take it like a man, essentially, or you crumble and make all your problems everyone else's problems. I feel like there's just two people in this world, and you're either one or the other when it comes to shit like that. And I am just not
in the camp
person where it's like feel bad for me, like all this is going wrong and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, it's going wrong for everybody. Have you fucking taken a look around lately?
Fuck.
I'm like, have you not taken a look around? Like, what do you want me to do about that?
Oh,
there's nothing that I can do about it.
Is this
like I don't know. I know I'm kind of ranting about that, but you bringing that up just kind of like irritated.
Brought something out of you.
Not you bringing it up.
It was
but just
me the whole time.
The idea of that irritates me because I've talked to people like that, and like I said, I just kind of in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, oh yeah,
sure.
that sucks. But I'm like, I just feel like those people haven't learned, where it's like you either figure it out or you don't. Like, unfortunately, everyone's kind of on their own path when it comes to this shit.
Oh my god, that scared the dog piss out of me. I'm not gonna lie. No, like
and it's another thing to just kind of like rant to your friend about shit, you know? I'm not saying you can't rant and be like, fuck, like everything's like, because sometimes you need to fucking
just talk to somebody.
Vent. Yeah. And I get that. I'm just saying those people that bring that shit up and then they expect you to have the answers. It's another thing for you to be like, yeah, I've got this and this and this going on. And then
what do I do?
Yeah. And then it's another thing where it's like, I got this and this and this, and it's just a lot right now, but I'll figure it out. Like, I have so much more respect for people like that are like, you know what? No, I got it. Let me figure it out. Or yeah, I'm going through a lot of this shit right now, but I'll figure it out. I have so much more respect for people like that, because I'm in the same mind. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm just like you. Like, I get it, And then, see, in my opinion, like people with that mentality inspire other people to be like, well, if he can fucking do it, then I can do it. And get it
together, yeah. Well, because I said something or maybe I didn't say something. I don't know. But in our last recording session, guys, we're on the back of the recording session of Far Cry, for those of you that don't know, that people like to see a person that like can go into a tough situation and just get the job done. Like, maybe not be the most proficient ever. You don't have to do that, but like, just hold it down in like trying times. And like, I almost want to think about, how do I say, like, looking at things or difficulties in my life as more like a video game, because in video games, much to the point of me playing these games, like I love direct, like really tough opposition and then getting through something significant. And then that gratification that you get after that, like it feels fucking amazing. So maybe me trying to look at the tougher times in my life as that boss that's in my way that I need to study the patterns on, or, general video gaming where it's like, my charisma stat's pretty low.
Yeah.
I don't know how to talk to girls.
I think, I was thinking about this the other day too. I think video games are really good for keeping your mind sharp and young.
Absolutely.
If there's one thing I really appreciate about video games as I've gotten older, I think a lot of like what helps me with problem solving and, just like solving, like a lot of it is problem solving for me. I feel like I get a lot of that strength, from video games. I really do. And even like thinking of alternate paths, like I get that from playing RPGs where it's like, oh, I could do this or I could do this. And then it forces you, like a game like that, forces you to go further along with that train of thought. So you're like, if I make this decision, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. If I make this decision, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, right? And then now you apply that to life, right? Like you apply that to your job. Okay, well, if I tell this person to do this, or if I tell this person that we're still doing this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Okay, well, if I don't tell this person this, then we might have more time to do this.
Fuck off.
And you get more like problem solving, skills. And I really owe that a lot to video games. because I apply all those to my job and in reality.
I don't think this is an actual person.
I don't know, maybe. Looks like it to me.
Hard to say. It might be an NPC.
I don't know.
Come on, you fucking bitch. But yeah, no,
I feel like they'd be rolling more.
As a chess player, I can definitely appreciate that line of thinking because you're thinking about like all the. No, this has to be an NPC.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they'd be rolling more.
Yeah, true. Oh my fucking god!
Oh
Stop.
Shit!
You are being a real motherfucker right now. You know that.
The thing that I feel like is a slippery slope with that thought process, though, which is where I have to find the balance for, is because there's a lot of pride in what I just said, right? There's a lot of pride in that, in being like, I can figure this out, I can do this. I don't need people to feel self-pity for me. Where I feel like is the time to let the pride go is when you make mistakes and owning up to that.
Absolutely.
I think that's where you show your humility. And there's even been situations like last week where I was training somebody to become a lead, and they're like, well, I just have a hard time talking to people. No. They're like, I have a hard time talking to people in groups, like running stand-ups, right? And having to talk to like a bunch of people, right? Because I have to do that every morning. I talk to like 20 people. I gather them around. We're like, all right, this is the plan. Today we've got this and this, and you know what I mean? And even I've admitted to him, I'm like, yeah, I was like, and she was like, I just don't do that very well. And I was like, she's like, I just get so nervous before that. And I was like, I get nervous before I do that too. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I've never got that impression that you get like anxious or nervous at all. And I was like, really? And she was like, no. And I was like, I do. I was like, every time I have to do something like that, I get a little anxious before I have to talk to that many people. But I was like, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get doing it. And with time, you'll get better at doing it. And I felt like in that situation, it's good to admit stuff like that because it shows that person you're teaching that you're human too, and you have flaws too. And then they can go like, okay, well, if this person felt that way about that too, and they overcame it, then I can overcome it too. You get what I mean?
Is it weird that I'm a little nervous right now?
Why?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember how hard this boss was or was not, but we just got plagued. So, smash.
General Grievous's girlfriend?
I'm down, dude. If she's down, I'm down.
Miss Grievous?
Mrs. Greaves?
But you get what I'm saying? Like, I just think I know I'm kind of going on a huge tangent about this shit, but no, I think it's a good subject to talk about.
And I could appreciate where it comes from. Like,
I think it's important for a leader in any situation, if you're trying to teach people or guide people, to show people where your flaws are, because it shows everyone that you're human, and it helps them kind of relate to you in a way where it's like you make mistakes too, you know?
No, absolutely.
And you learn from them, just like anybody else does. It's how you choose to continue forward that defines your character. I believe that.
No, absolutely. And then, you know, in the face of adversity, when times are tough, and then just being able to withstand that, like, dude, we do not have the fucking heals for this shit.
Dude, what's up with all these fucking enemies here, too? You can't just fight the boss?
It's part of the charm, I guess. Okay, so that's not the real one. Great. Okay, so that has to be the real one. Is she just
reading Bible verses and attacking you with them? What the fuck is she doing?
Dude, she's spitting fucking...
Corinthians chapter 3. Just fucking...
Die, whore! Don't do it, bro. Stand down. I know she's your fucking mommy milkers over here. Okay, now I have to figure out what is the real one again.
These are all just Amaranth simps, and that's Amaranth you're fighting?
Oh, brother,
my queen, can I get your bathwater?
Just a crumb. Oh my
shit.
God, dude, the Harry Potter spells are going crazy.
Bro, she's hitting you from like multiple angles, too.
Yeah, this is fucked up. Please be the real one. Of course not. Oh, man, no. And she's got sigils on the ground. No. We're so cooked, chat.
Wait, there's items over there.
I walked into it again! I didn't realize it was active twice.
Do you think there's a half moon over there or something?
Please. Nope.
There's another one back to your left. If you go left and come back.
We're still plagued. I'm so fucked.
Fuck.
Okay, well, yikes. So this is putting me under the inclination, and this is my own fault, that we should farm for materials. Unless we might have some at home.
Dude, don't you still have another thing to bring back your...
We do, yeah. And
Maybe you should do that before you...
Rift of Ephemeral. I actually did do that, but we got plagued, and that fucked us by that one fucking crossbow bitch. But this feels very beatable. I cannot tell a lie. Like, we were chunking her health pretty well. So.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Stockpile Thomas, please tell me I put a bunch of goods in. Oh, I did. What does this do again?
But I'm sure, kind of just going back to that, I'm sure you can kind of relate to that in some way with when you're like teaching people fighting games or trying to get people to understand fighting games, where it's like, you know, you can't just sugarcoat it and go easy on someone in order for them to really learn the games. Like sometimes you got to be like, I'm going to fucking fight you so you can understand why it is that you lost, or, you know. And then even sometimes you probably would throw in like a bit of trash talking in there too to mix it up, so that way it can fuel them to be more inspired to be like, no, I gotta fucking beat you now, kind of thing, right?
No, absolutely. Because like, how do I say? Like, I never. Actually, we're good on healing materials, by the way, so that's huge.
Nice.
Cannot retrieve item would be overburdened. Okay, how do we get underburdened, bro?
But like, and even going back to saying like showing like your flaws and stuff like that when you're teaching, I'm pretty sure you do that too on your channel, where it's like, okay, this is where I messed up, this is why I lost that fight, right? I think it's important to show stuff like that because it shows the people that you're teaching where your flaws are and how you overcame that, right? And I adapt that same exact mentality to my real life as well.
Yeah, you have to be like self-analytical. Like unfortunately, like no one's gonna do the work for you, and like I take that line of thinking with just about everything. You know, like, do you want to go to the gym and get stronger? Well, you know, unfortunately, no one's gonna like, you know, pump your muscles for you. No one's gonna put strain on your body to make it stronger. And that was kind of like a weird appreciation of like homework, because a lot of people are stupid. So, but you know, when you're in school, you're forced to exercise your brain. You're forced to go through like this curriculum to like, you know, attempt to gain something out of it. But oh shit, did not mean to do that. But the minute you get out of school, like no one forces you to go back to school. No one forces these assignments on you outside of your work. And like if you're working like a regular job, like, you know, oftentimes you don't have to use a lot of your brain to work like a mundane job. So forcing some type of like mental strain on yourself so that you can actually use this fucking muscle up here, you know, much to the point where we talk, or like, you know, when I do like personal writing, whenever I tell, it's like, oh, like, Brad, what are you gonna do when you get home? Like, I'm gonna do a little bit of writing. And they're like, writing? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, you know, explaining the whole crouch block thing. Because like, you know, that's a way that I can exercise that muscle that I'm not forced to anymore. You know, some people have video games. Some people, oh, shit, don't do it. Some people like playing Yu-Gi-Oh is not that bad, or playing card games, or like, you know, just in general playing strategy games isn't too bad, because you need to stay sharp.
Right.
Come on, bitch. I'm like, as far, I've kind of run on a tangent without realizing where I was going. Relating to fighting games, like there isn't any other person that has responsibility of your wins and losses and whether you actually improve than yourself. It is just you and your opponent, and it's not, I mean, in a way it is your opponent's fault that you lost, but you could have been better, and it's your responsibility to be the better the next time you have that encounter with that player.
Dude, just to kind of go perfectly in line with that, my supervisor gave me a book that I was starting to read at work because we've had downtime.
Okay.
And it's called Extreme Ownership. And he was like, because me and my supervisor are very much in line with how you and I think too, you know? And he was like, I think you'd really like this book. And I was like, okay. And he was like, it's Jocko Willink. And I was like, oh yeah, I know that is. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
He's a Navy SEAL. He's been on like tons of podcasts with like Rogan and stuff like that. But he wrote this book called Extreme Ownership. And the reason he wrote it, and it's like the first like prologue, was basically everything that we're talking about right now, where it's like, he was like, I was like a commander of like my squad in the Navy SEALs. And he's like, and I'm telling you these stories of failure so that you can learn from them. And he's like, and I think it's important that like where I made the mistakes, why my team failed, where we didn't succeed as a team when we were overseas, you know, and because it was during the war with Afghanistan and Iraq, right?
Okay.
And so he was like, all these stories are to basically tell you, like, help people with critical thinking, to take ownership for your failures and to learn them. And he's like, and I'm putting them all in this book and being vulnerable so that way you guys can learn from this, not only as like a soldier, but for people in life. And literally exactly the shit we're talking about is what this whole book is about.
Right.
And I think you would really like that book too. So if I get through it, I might recommend that book to you.
Yeah, please do. I'm totally fine like with that.
How you feeling so far?
I feel great.
Yeah, I feel fine too.
Yeah, like especially as a fighting game player, like one of my many favorite things about fighting games is the direct feedback that you get in those games. And I'll cap this thought before we roll in there. Is like, you know, in a lot more multiplayer games, there's a lot more gray areas as far as improvements concerned. So like, especially with like team games where you have to like navigate around the team, there's a lot more macro play. So you're thinking in the grand scale of your performance, like, okay, should I have pushed more? Should I have tried to take in more space so I can make a bigger way for my team? Should I have tried to farm more? Should I have tried to like, there's a lot more of thinking like that, which is appealing. I you know, but with fighting games, they're so kinetic in the way of like, okay, I saw that he jumped in on me and I missed my anti-air. Like I can immediately like work on my anti-air. It's like, okay, like they did this in that situation, they're at advantage by 3 frames. So I know it's not my turn. So next time that comes around, like maybe I can look for a perfect parry, or maybe I can look for this, or you know, maybe I can fix my combos to give me a better setup, or like a, you know, a safe jump or something like that, where it's like there's easy to identify things that will give you direct feedback and that you can implement right away.
I had this idea the other night, and I'm glad that we're talking about this, and I just remembered this now. And it could not work in this setting, but I was like, that might not be a bad idea for people to get better at fighting games. What if, and I got it from Guitar Hero, what if, like, you know how like what I was saying is like a lot of people, they'll like say learn a string of combos, right? But then when they go to try to adapt it into a real fight, they kind of get into panic mode, and they can't, like, because they're
under extreme duress. Yeah.
What if there was a way that you could like fight like an NPC, right? Like at the highest the caliber level or whatever, but you can slow down time.
Sure.
So like, say it's like, okay, you're fighting this NPC at the highest level, but it's at 75% speed. That way it can give you time for your brain to see the windows of opportunity for you to let your string of combos go out or to defend yourself. And then as you get more comfortable with that, you can then go back to 100% speed, like where it's normally at, and then try to do it there. And the reason I thought that is because when I was playing the drums the other day, I was like, dude, I can't fucking get my feet and my hands to
like sync up.
And the song was just too fast for my brain to comprehend what I was doing. So I went into the practice mode and I went to 50% speed. Then I went to 75% speed just to get the certain rhythm down. And then I went to 100% speed, and then I was able to like kind of have a better understanding of the song, you know?
Totally. No, that makes sense. Like in a way,
because that way it gets them more time to get used to like inputs and stuff, you know? Or like how to react in real time, and seeing those windows of opportunity in mid-fight of being like, oh, this is where I can do this move, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in a way there is kind of that. So like
I know Tekken had that thing where you can watch previous fights, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it would be cool and you can even relive those fights, right, in Tekken?
Yes, sir.
But what if you could slow it down by a certain percentage? You know what I mean? So your brain and your eyes can keep up a little bit better, and you can get used to seeing the window of opportunity for you to kind of
take advantage of these
take
situations.
advantage of it and use that string of combos you're practicing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the thing with that is that, okay, that's not a real one. Is as far as execution is concerned, that's a bit different because it's hard to get the feel of combos in your hand. Like, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree.
That's why I'm saying
Die,
it might
bitch.
not 100% work, but I just thought, I was like, oh, that might actually be a good way for people's, like, to wrap their brain around what to do in an actual fight, you know?
Yeah, it's just that timing is so
The timing was the thing.
specific.
Yeah.
Where like I don't disagree, and there is like people use like cheat engines to like very much do exactly what you're saying. Where it's like I have this friend Will that's like I'm kind of a visual learner when it comes to my combos. Like I'm looking for these specific things. And so I download a cheat engine so that I can get a feel for combos in that way. I'm like, hey, bro, if that works for you, that's sick. Like, for me, I'm just the person where it's like I'll do it over and over again at 100% timing because, like, I'll just get it in my hands just by sheer drilling it in numbers. And I think I've always kind of been like that. What's funny is like there's a level of overestimation on how hard fighting games are to get into, and I have to have this conversation with so many people online. We beat World 3-1 or whatever it was.
Nice, dude.
There is such like, oh man, there's stigmas that like fighting games are the hardest games to get into in the world, and they're just not accessible to new players. When that's just simply not the case. Like I tell everyone, it's like, oh, dude, if I can teach you like very beginner concepts, you're already playing a very interesting version of the game. I taught you. Oh, sorry.
I was waiting here I was like,
my
good
peripheral.
job, dude. And I
my
was like
bad.
this, and then you just kept going. I just looked at the camera. I was like, all right.
My bad. But my fault. But I taught you a little bit of how to play Street Fighter, and you won your very first game. And then you fought. You like randomly booted up a casual match when me and you were hanging out in your room. And you fought a Diamond player, and you took a round. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
It was Diamond Dawson, and then I'm like, hey, bro, hand me the controller. I'm going to beat this guy's ass. And I beat his ass. And
he's probably just like, what the fuck? How did he suddenly get good out of nowhere?
All of a sudden. But, like, honestly, like, I will give some blame, and this is where I ramble. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I will give some blame because tutorials in fighting games are not great, but I would argue that tutorials in pretty much every multiplayer game are terrible. So what do people do when tutorials in games are bad? They take to the internet to be like, oh, hey, 5 simple tips to get good at a Warzone or Red Sec, or in this case, Street Fighter 6. And, blaming the tutorials is not good enough. Like, it all comes down to interest.
It does.
If you are genuinely interested in whatever game, you will get through the hurdles, to gain a level of proficiency.
Right.
Like if I talk to you, like, as much as I could talk to you about how interesting fighting games are and how they, in my opinion, are literally the best genre of games ever.
Sure.
That won't reach you until you understand it yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think, like, people have to find those things on their own. I don't think, like, as much as I want to, like, get everybody into Guitar Hero or, something like that, I can't force people to find an interest for that game, But with that being said, I couldn't necessarily disagree with you. I haven't really fully dived deep into fighting games to give an opinion on them,
But you're
Damn, you have a lot of souls.
Not that many, because we're only able to get one level. Your interest is not high enough to actually get through the hurdles that are in
true.
the game. And that's just the case. Like I
true.
tell everybody, it's like, oh, hey, you can't make your friends fighting game players. You have to make friends with fighting game players.
Right. But that's the thing I will say too, is that I'm not going to sit there and say the game sucks because I can't get good at it right away.
Absolutely. That's the big problem.
And that's the thing I think a lot of people view those games like. They're like, oh, I fucking can't do this. Like, I'm not good at it. I'm like, yeah, of course you're not fucking good at it. You played it for 10 minutes, dude. Like,
absolutely.
You know, I'm
dude,
like,
you and I spent like, what was it? Like, maybe like 2 hours or so.
yeah.
And honestly, if you ask me, Street Fighter is like the hardest game to pick up as a newcomer because, this was like an old story, but when I got into Street Fighter 5 as a Dragon Ball player, dude, Street Fighter just did not make sense to me. It took me a long time. Like my first day of playing online, I played 24 games. I lost 23 of them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but I was like, no, I want to understand this. And it just took me watching a game of, shout out to Punk. It took me watching him playing Karen to like, okay, like this clicks a little bit more. And you know, honestly, if we were to boot up Tekken right now, I could get you to win in Tekken, like not that hard. Like I would teach you Kazuya because I just picked up Kazuya. I could tell you good, easy, strong things about him.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter is tough, man.
I do want to say that I don't think you're, completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
wrong.
No, like blinded by your love for the genre, because I do think that video or fighting games have gotten more popular over the years. I mean, we're seeing way more fighting games being made now than there ever have been. So obviously there's more of an interest for those games than there have been before. For myself, weirdly enough, I feel like if I were to get I did like Street Fighter 6. I haven't really spent enough time to sit down and play it as much as I want to, which, that's my own fault.
You just don't desire it right now, and that's fine.
Unfortunately, yeah, and I don't even think it's like intentional either. I think it's just like subconsciously I'm like, other games just pique my interest more. It's not even that I don't like fighting games. I just think there's other games that have piqued my interest more to play. But when it comes to fighting games, I have had like somewhat of an interest to play older fighting games. I don't know why, but I like the retro kind of like Dead or Alive 1 and 2 and 3. Like those were fun.
Okay.
I like the older Tekken games. Soul Calibur seems really cool. And I think the reason why that is because the fighting games I did play as a kid were those ones.
Yeah.
So I kind of have an interest to go like, I kind of want to go back and revisit these and kind of see if I can get decent at them just for fun's sake,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then who knows, maybe that starts a slippery slope where I start wanting to play the newer fighting games and get more into those. So I'm not entirely closing the door on the day that I actually try to get really into a fighting game. I don't know why. I just haven't been able to actually find either the time or make the time, I should say, to
invest in
it. Yeah, but I'm not entirely closing that door. Like,
and I like my whole goal is to like dispel stupidity, I can understand with Street Fighter 4. Like I've been playing and enjoying Street Fighter 4 as a newcomer to it. Like originally I had vanilla Street Fighter 4 on the Xbox 360. And that like I could not do a combo. None of that shit made any sense to me. Like I couldn't grasp it. And like I put that game in your hands and you're like, this feels fucking impossible. But I've been learning it. I've been really liking it, and yeah, it
doesn't feel very forgiving at all.
No, it's not, yeah. And that's to like explain why that is because there isn't a buffer system on inputs. Mm-hmm. So in Street Fighter 5, they added the 3-frame buffer system where you can hit your links within 3 frames of the window, and you'll get it.
Yeah, that way it's a little more forgiving. But I will say, there's got to be some pretty sweet gratification from landing a combo in Street Fighter 4 compared to the other ones, I gotta say, because you're gonna be like, oh fuck, that took me way. Like even I did it the other day when I was playing Street Fighter 4 and I was doing a string of combos with you. Like it wasn't a crazy combo or anything, but it felt good to like actually get it to roll out,
Yeah, absolutely. And like dude, hold on,
bro just stood there.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about this, we're gonna do it right. One sec.